Yo, do you guys
Right,
think
so-
it's actually this Underlord is a mid laner? By the way, I'm pretty sure about it.
Ooh, yeah,
Mid
EG
Underlord
does
plus one
the
Mirana?
Chris Smile middle. Yeah, they do it. Oh,
But
yeah,
you
you're
think
right.
they'll last pick there? You think this
Plus
is
3?
Clockwork 5, right? Definitely. Plus 3, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a Marcy offlaning, probably.
yeah, it can be.
It makes
I mean,
sense.
like,
Pick
makes
Whisper
sense.
Marcy.
Underlord is just
Yeah.
amazing against Ember Spirit because of the high mobility of Ember Spirit. So Underlord just, can buy Athos, and you can combine with his skills.
Yeah, the Pit of Malice is very good.
Exactly.
So
Use
EG's
Malice,
thinking...
use Athos, and then rock the Malice again.
EG thinks it's a carry Prophet. They ban Darks here. It would be a great combo with Tiny.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
So you think that's definitely Vitali on the natures and not Lumia?
I don't know, because they still got Beastmaster available, but I worry about Vitali's hero pool.
Yeah, I feel like he's dwindled down a bit. There's Beastmaster left and Pango, but that's pretty much it.
I think it was Wingblade that brought it up. Vitali has played like 13 or 14 different heroes in this DPC.
Yeah.
Like they just don't prioritize him. They just pick him what's left. So it's kind of worrisome.
So I'm thinking about the players of EG. I think Underlord gonna be playing mid. Mirana position 1. Yeah, I know it sounds great, but I think it's Mirana position 1. Clockwork position 5. Marcy offlaner, and they need a position 4. I think it's this, right?
I don't think Samirana carry, bro.
Dude, trust on Pakaz, man. Just trust on Pakaz.
10 seconds remaining.
Is it like you think Fakaz would do it, or your heart wants Fakaz to do it? You know, what is it?
Both of them. Both of them, actually.
Yeah, so EG
Let's
bans
see,
an
pick
offlaner
comments.
and a carry.
They worry about the Nature's Prophet.
10 seconds
So
remaining.
if you were going to pick a carry here, Magic, what if you're Alliance, of course, what do you want? Ursa?
Carry for Alliance.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say with that Naga band over there, might Morphling, but I think that's too greedy. I think the draft is greedy.
Yeah.
Really?
Really, I don't know. EG's draft looks a bit all over the place as well, so
10 seconds remaining.
we'll see if she looks right and this is a Pos 1 Mirana. But if it was a Pos 1
5
Mirana, what would you
seconds
pick?
remaining.
That's
It's
hard,
a
actually.
+1 Mirana, they're lacking a support, right?
Or offlaner.
Mm,
Depends. Oh no, it's not a Mirana
Wait.
position 1.
Select your hero.
Oh,
who would
no.
have thought?
Alright,
It's
that's okay.
not a Mirana carry. Yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah, but as I said, it was crazy. I know, but I just saw Pakaz playing Mirana on his pubs, and I thought it couldn't happen. But
Do you
yeah,
like the Faceless Void here, you guys?
it's good, but I just worry about if they're gonna be able to do damage while he's in the chrono, or it's just him hitting. There's not much that they can hit from the outside of chrono.
or
And it's an offlane Mirana. Okay.
yeah,
Offlane runner,
At
that's
least
also
it is
almost as good.
at least a core.
It's a core.
At least it's a core.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on, Sherlock. We don't give you that.
redemption, man. Please give me a redemption.
Okay. So who's gonna win here, Sherlock?
EG, of course, 100%.
EG.
G? All aboard EG again.
Two
Okay.
zero, I think.
Let's toss it to our casters. Ares, Danog. Who's gonna win, boys?
It's all on the EG train, but how are you feeling about this draft? Are you all aboard as well?
The EG train, it's got a few stops. It's not an express train this
Okay.
time around. Whereas last game I was very, very confident. But no, I think It's still strong. I could still see ways that it worked. And when this Underlord was picked up, you actually asked me during when we were just chilling in the background, saying, "Wait a minute, I've seen this before." Underlord as a response to the Ember Spirit. Not only is it good because of the root in similar ways to like the Crystal Maiden, but we've seen it absolutely dumpster lanes in the Southeast Asian region as well.
Yeah, that we have indeed. So it's going to be really interesting to see how C Smile is able to play this into the Ember Spirit matchup. And if he goes down, I'm intrigued on kind of the item build of what we're going to see, because it's usually into that kind of like ATOS build. Really nice to be able to set up for the Mirana Arrow, but I wonder if he has his own kind of flair to the Position 2 Underlord build.
If he does, this is not the game for it, because it's not just against the Ember Spirit, right? It's against a Prophet, it's against a Morphling. He relies on their movement, so you got to make sure that you're abusing that as much as right. So this is the game to go something like that ATOS.
Well, we have both sides underway, already looking across the river. Game 2. Let's commence EG with this game advantage and see if they're able to secure, of course, their ticket over to the Lima Major, and a lot on the line here for Alliance. Pretty much getting
Too long of a flight.
Not yes, that's true. Not too long. But still.
Remember, there was Hector from Beast Coast was saying, like, you know what, I actually don't want there to be an Asia because I like traveling to different places. So, obviously they still want to be able to get there to represent their region, to play for the glory of it all, but there's different attitudes towards it all. Like, a lot of these guys, this is the chance for them to be able to travel and see the world. And I think once you're there and hear everyone, the national
It'll be
pride
different.
really does start to
Yeah,
kick
that's
in.
what I was gonna say. The national pride of being there and all the South American fans going crazy would just be something that they'd be like, all right, maybe we do this a couple more times.
Flashbacks to Manila Major, but for South America, basically. Like the tickets sold out in about 30 seconds, I think. So,
yeah, both sides. Unfortunately for Alliance, of course, not a possibility for them to be able to make it, but really they are fighting for their hopes of staying in Division 1, and with a series loss here, it would put them in a really tricky position where they could potentially be contesting up against Ravens for that last relegation slot. As we see, this mid matchup is able to break out. Like you mentioned, of course, Smile is going to have a really big advantage in regards to his right-click damage. So is there anything Analog can do to kind of offset that?
I mean, we've seen teams do interesting strategies with, like, pulling the creep wave entirely, like, behind the tower, looking to manipulate it in that way. It doesn't seem like they've got any supports that are going to making that sort of rotation and doing it. This is very much like Silencer needs to stay in the lane. Tiny Prophet is quite a strong lane as well, so you want to be maximizing that effectiveness as much as you can. So it's all going to be on the back of him, and I think he's just going to have a bit of a rough time, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, we already see a lot of damage onto Analog, and Smile easily able to secure some of the creeps. As take a look top lane as well. In a little bit of trouble. We do get that off lane Mirana. Sherlock was kind of hoping for the Mirana 1, but we got to be happy with what we got. A core Mirana. I was looking back at some of the TI games, I think TI 9. We saw a lot of the Mirana being played as a position 3, and we get the Treater Whisper playing it, but how do we feel like he's going to look to play the Mirana in a game like this? We've seen a lot of the kind of the off-lane utility. Are we expecting that, or some more kind of right-click damage out of the Mirana?
I think, honestly, a bit of split. Like, something like a Gleipnir could still be very good for in this game, just because whenever you're playing as a core Mirana, you're wanting to be right-clicking as much as possible. You're typically not this spell damage style. And again, the root is going to be incredibly effective against Alliance. So that's the sort of avenue that I see him going down.
So it helps out a little bit with his farming speed, sets up for the arrow, a little bit of extra damage. I know Magic was speaking about maybe her...
Didn't use the arrow that time around, not getting things perfectly up, and I think Lumiere started to morph into strength, even though it's just level 1. So, quick fingers on him there. Danog has to be a little bit careful, though, although Matthew might be extending a little bit too far forward. Still has the Dispose on cooldown for the next few seconds.
Bottom lane Panda's able to do a really good job to be able to get a creep pull. This will help try and reset the equilibrium to enable the Bakars to farm a little bit safer. Might be a bit of a... Oh, Sansa. It's going down. Gardic might, in fact, as Matthew gets the jump on forward. Lumiere gonna look to man fight, considering about waveforming on forward, but we'll think twice about it.
I mean, it's pretty scary to do that into a Mirana. Already an Agi hero, pretty decent stats, good attack animation, and well, now she's got 2 Wraith Bands as well, queuing up a 3rd. So just wanting to harass that Morphling as much as possible. That is one of the big weaknesses, right? Just the 350 attack range. You can compare that to Mirana, 630. So you're always going to be able to get the better end of any, like, just one-on-one trades. Matthew might be going down, though. Ooh, the curse? No. Mango, regen, that was the difference maker there, for sure.
That's what the flag bearer creep as well, so
True.
a little bit of a nice timing there for that one to come out. I do see this mid matchup still continuing to be a really big issue. See Smile is either going to glyph aggressively. Analog 11-2 compared to the 21-11 on C Smile, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. And I wonder if he does consider about those kind of dragging the creeps behind the tower like you were mentioning.
Yeah, good question. I feel like it might be even a little late for it right now. This is the part where you probably wanted to have at least an even time in the lane, but all he can do right now is essentially secure some of these runes for himself. Pick up the farm wherever he can. I mean, Underlord is one of these heroes that just wants to stay farming. Seasmile knows that this is a winning lane for him, so he doesn't want to move until he's absolutely forced to. And again, it's the global strategy that EG like to play with. This time around, it's going to be through the Fiend's Gate instead of a Nature's Prophet teleport.
End up going down. Whisper and Matthew in combination together once again. We're able to land the arrow, it looks like, and an easy one for them to find. Back to this mid lane. It's not going to be easy for Analog to make rotations, because with how much damage that Seasmile have, he can bring that tower down to...
that tower.
Yeah, that's the issue. Like, and maybe you're reliant on like a haste rune for the Ember to get to a side lane and then quickly TP back to mid. So maybe for him it's just trying to look to shove out the lane with the flame guard and then go back and maybe get a jungle camp to increase his net worth.
Even a little bit odd just with the itemization on Analog, to be honest, right? Like, he's gone a Blightstone, but then he's gone this Flame Guard build as well. So it's not like there's synergy with the Sleight of Fist. And, I mean, Underlord doesn't have a tiny amount of mana. This isn't one of these ones where you could push him close to 0 or even negative armor and really look to abuse it in that way. Underlord's got 6. He's totally fine.
It's the arrow waveform still on cooldown. As a Fairy Fire to work with, there's going to be enough health given back. Lumiere just gets the waveform over the tree line and will be okay, but so much health has been expended for the Morphling, so it's not going to be easy for him to play the lane. They'll give him a Salve at least and a Tango.
Wonder if he would have actually gone down. I think he might have had a Wraith Band just sitting in his backpack instead of a shared Tango there. So Matthew just sending that one over onto the Mirana a little bit early. That they just didn't have that tiny bit of extra right-click damage. So it would have been a huge kill for them, but still, this lane is going quite well. Every single lane, essentially, is working out fairly well for EG, except the bottom one. Vitali's doing a pretty good job down here. Of course, Tiny, Nature's Prophet is so strong together. Means that Theolithor has the time to be able to rotate towards that bottom rune, but unfortunately for Alliance, it's going to spawn top. Seasmile grabs a regen rune for himself, and Analog just hates his life even more because it is something that an Underlord does not need. It's just more stuff to buff him up.
He does have the level 6 now for Analog, so I look to get rid of the career wave, then reset the TP back.
It does mean that you're kind of hindered from being able to make side lane rotations though, right? Because then you're just having to use the TP back to base. You know that you're going to have to walk up. You know there's no haste rune, so you're just stuck in this lane, which is a losing lane. Maybe 1,000 net worth lead at 6.5 minutes. That's pretty drastic.
Maybe one thing we can look at here for Alliance is the level 6 being worked on for Vitali. Still going to take maybe 2 waves to get towards it. Catapult's going to help a lot with the experience, but that +1 into the Wrath of Nature Burst could be something that they could look to try and implement for their first kills. We see top lane again. Lumiere will go down. Beautifully done from Evil Geniuses.
Vitali's actually going a first item Aghanim Scepter as well. Not something that I'm expecting, but I guess he just was really inspired by Picard's from that last game. Does feel a little bit more of the utility style for sure, and you know, you could see validity in it when you're going up against a Mirana, a Marcy, a Faceless Void, so I don't hate it. I'm still just going to need to see some extra damage. I want to see them prioritize a little bit more of Theolithor. Not necessarily the farm, but he needs those levels. For another arrow up top onto Lumiere. Misses out that time, though.
You have learned
He's going into the Greaves. Don't hate it either, right? Gonna get rid of the Global Silence. Gonna provide a little bit more survivability to his team. Again, Underlord's just one of those heroes that the longer a fight goes, the happier he is. You're just
Yeah,
gonna
look at this. Evil Genius is bringing so many members to try and secure the rune, and Matthew will get it. So once again, Analog not going to get a refill in the bottle.
doesn't have a TP to play with either. Wonder if he's even going to look inside of the Radiant jungle just to see if there's a bounty rune there, but he's in no man's land. Panda just bullying him away from the lane. A level 3 clockwork.
Bottom net
Oh,
worth.
Ember Spirit.
Of all the cores on the Ember, it's not looking too fun for Analog. But it does have to be said that if there's a hero he's going to be able to catch up on, Ember is one that we've heard the panel mention so many times that just pick it up in the first phase. He's just so goddamn comfortable on this hero, and we'll see if he's going to be able to find that catch-up farm. They are trying to set up on top Matthew with that invis. Doesn't actually toss him into the arrow though, so Lumi will be okay.
We were talking about it in the draft as well, though. Behind the scenes, just saying, like, he's a fantastic Ember Spirit player, but these days, there's a ton of Ember Spirit counters. And, you know, we can clearly see one of them coming to the fore right now as Matthew might have extended himself a little bit too far. Didn't even decide to use the Tango to try and live a little bit longer. Vitaly actually ends up sniping that kill.
Alright. Do you like that? I don't know. I don't like that.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Because looks to drop the first Chronosphere of the game down bottom. Really needs a lot of bashes coming out. He's only found one. The Ulacol will act as a deterrent. But we see Smile nearby. The Firestorm damage should be enough to help go through the Clockwork's life. So at least EG are able to find a kill. But they don't get that onto the Call of Nature's Prophet. So the Chronosphere is now on cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, he'd gotten away regardless, but yeah, they were really hoping for a toss back underneath that tower. Just get a kill for free, essentially. Vitaly still doing a fantastic job. Already 2 components finished up towards that Aghanim Scepter. So he's certainly going to be an influence once the laning stage starts to dissolve a little bit more. Picking up some nice neutral items for his team as well, which is always a nice bonus.
Hey, Analog got a rune. Let's go.
Alright. Play with that.
Region out maybe with his farm. No stacks for them to work with though, which is a little bit of a concern. But we've had a very, very passive game. Only 5 kills. The supports are starting to make some rotations across the map. But for either side, is there anything we're kind of waiting for to break open this game?
Not particularly, to be honest. I mean, again, I feel like Alliance can look to play a lot more around that Aghanims on the Nature's Prophet once it comes online, but you could just see they're looking to try and play around this siege creep on bottom side as much as possible. They don't have great wave clear outside of the Underlord, and not even looking to commit a TP for it. C-Smile's actually just walked down bottom. So again, not overcommitting. Doesn't have the Fiend's Gate leveled up yet. He's got a skill point available though. Just wanting to keep his options available. Right now, the main priority is just don't lose the map. Give Morphling time to be able to pick up this farm. He's going to be able to deal with all these heroes. All 3 cores, not the strongest against the Faceless Fort if he's able to get off that great Chronosphere.
When can they deal with the Underlord though? I mean, you mentioned Morphling, like later stages will have that damage, but what about now? Because we see what EG just do. You pop Underlord on the front line, then all of a sudden their rotation down bottom to put some pressure on the tower is just instantly thwarted with this Underlord.
Maybe like level 9 on the Tiny, something along those lines.
I've been in some trouble. Does he actually want to look to turn it around? Panda's able to find the hook shot in. They do have C-Smile to maybe act as a bit of a bodyguard as well, but the pit is not in a position to protect the Clockwork. C-Smile's going to try and chase down Theolacor, but the Tiny will be okay as the rest of Alliance cover his retreat.
I think so many Alliance games I say this, but I really feel like it's heavily on the back of Theolacor. Like, he is going to be the one that gets them from a rough laning stage into a really good spot in the mid game. If he's able to, again, get the farm, more importantly the levels, just to impact onto these team fights. You've got good setup for it. You've got Ember Spirit with the chains, you've got Sprout coming through, which just allows you to find any single pick-off that you want. And C-Smile with this mid build, again, going into the ATOS, which we were expecting. It's not like a pipe build, or it's not a Lotus build, or something that's going to enable his survival a little bit more. So I really feel value in just giving Theolacor a little bit more of that farm priority.
Uh-oh.
Radiant's bottom tower
This is not good. EG just take a free mid tower and then C-Smile will TP down bottom instantly to help protect it. And now Bakaza's got the Chronosphere back up, and this time C-Smile's going to be nearby. Some really good micro over the trees holding the Underlord down to the south, so it'll be a bit too late to get that Firestorm damage out. And once again, Evil Geniuses don't find anything with the Chronosphere.
I'm not sure if they even needed to use the global, maybe just being a little bit worried about the hook shot potentially coming through, because they would have known 100% that the Faceless Void was coming in with a Chronosphere. Thought they might have been able to get the edge of having we have global and you don't have a response to it. I mean, just look at how much damage C-Smile's doing on his own. Dealing 300 damage a pop onto this bottom tower. Really feels unkillable without Tiny getting a few more levels, so... Yep, kind of like what I was expecting. Theolacor just looking to play a little bit around his Morphling, take a bit of farm for himself as well, as they found here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
A bit of an awkward attempt there from EG. Smoke popped early on Matthew. They still went for the kill, but weren't able to find anything. Dude, C-Smile got another tower.
Man, he's doing like 300 damage a hit. This is what happens.
Yeah. Maxed out Atrophy Aura, Nemo guarding. We killed off Theolacor, finds a pretty good combo with Analog nearby, but the mechanism instantly repairs a majority of the damage, but it's not enough to keep Matthew alive, and now Panda as well is stuck. Lumiere gets the follow-up damage required to bring down. They do get a couple kills across the map here for Alliance, but they also lose Vitali down bottom. I think there was a solo kill for C-Smile.
Yeah, I think so as well. So, again, just... You're still very squishy at this stage. No points in the grow. He's hitting like an absolute truck. You're a tiny, so pretty decent strength gain, and well, that Firestorm is going to chull that, plus Atos, plus a bit of Malice. What can you do about it? Still though, they're doing the right stuff. Theolacor given farm priority, and I think EG recognized that that is the way that Alliance are going to come back into this one, is if he starts to build up those levels, if he gets into the Blink Dagger and is able to act as a bit of that counter initiation. So a lot of priority given over to him. 3 heroes rotating up, even a 4th actually, to this top side. Hopefully for Analog's sake, they don't scout out them taking this little bit of a stack here. Oh, that's not what you wanted though. Whisper, solo kill.
Oh, that's a lot of tips as well.
Without vision.
Oh no. That's troubling. That's really troubling. This Morphling, someone that you really need to be able to find the farm. Man. He really is. He really is just built different. This guy can do it all. Doesn't matter what hero. Theolacor will find the toss back. We're able to get the kill onto Panda, but the rest of the team starting to move on over under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow, but will be a bit too late to avenge his death. So Alliance get a kill onto a support. They're able to protect their jungle as well, importantly. Ooh, but how?
Yeah, I saw.
Alright.
I was like, what the?
So,
feel that good this game? I don't think it does.
Alright, we'll see. EG smoking his 3 down to Lumiere once again. Oh, Whisper, is he going to go for it blindly?
He's got vision.
Lumiere got the brute to hold him. Garnic's actually going to use the global silence defensively. Waveform's already been used for Lumiere, but they'll go for the easy kill into the silencer instead. So he's done his job, but it was a global silence used to kind of help the Morphling escape. So EG, they're probably happy with that. You got the Chronosphere back up. They can probably look to make another play across the map. In fact, because he might just use the Chronosphere solo, and is even got the Rift to enable all the other boys to help out, getting the damage required to kill off Vitali. An easy one for them to find. EG from bottom to top they go, and they're not done as Theolacor next on the chopping block, but the root's not going to be enough as Theolacor will be fine.
Getting close though, I'm telling you. Like, he is getting to that stage where he is going to start influencing these team fights. 300 gold away from the Blink Dagger, almost level 10. So things could be looking up for Alliance in this next little bit.
Yeah, should be fine though. He was looking for the cogs push back into the arrow, but he's able to find that opening. So Lumiere, chilling.
I think he's tired of not being able to easily trade against the Marauder as well. Got into the Dragon Lance just for a little bit of that extra survivability. I mean, just the Pupil's Gift, or a little bit of that extra strength. Big benefits coming through there. And yep, into the point booster as well. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, again, there's a lot of heroes that would be fantastic to morph into, either the Faceless Void or the Underlord or even the Marcy. To some extent, would just be super value for him. So I like this coming through from Lumiere. He's level 12 as well, so he wants to get that second point into the morph just to be a little bit more fight ready. He could very easily do so.
But it doesn't seem like they're fight ready now. EG moving into the pit. Lumiere off to the side is trying to solo kill Whisper.
Out of mana as well, so he has to be a little bit careful here. Oh, he's got the arcane boots as well as Kardik even cops the arrow. Get down, Mr. President.
Yeah. Unfortunately with that though, Roche is going to go for free, so...
They get this kill onto Whisper, maybe? Oh no, he tossed the range creep instead of the Mirana itself.
Okay, they get it.
Analog got it. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, that's BKB now completed. We'll see. They might be able to fight into this Aegis. It's not going to be easy at all, but you do have your items starting to be completed. Of course, that Scepter's been on Vitali for a while, but the BKB is really an important thing. Global Silence needs to be used perfectly, as well as... Well, they're going to run into Matthew. A Dark Rift is coming out, so the boys are starting to join, but it's only C-Smile that's going to show up to the neighborhood. Looks like he'll be able to get the kill into the Silencer, and it looks like these guys
I'm out of here.
Through the Rift.
That's still a really big win, though, for Alliance. Like, they were able to take the bottom tower.
The Ember.
Okay.
Back through the Rift. Okay, it's not.
But they get 2 kills, they get the tower, and they saw that the Faceless Void, if they were paying attention, was originally TPing down to that tower, but then cancelled it. He was fighting underneath the creep wave at the time, so they could have had vision of that. But again, like, C-Smile just has no cares at all in the world. He's like, I am unkillable, I'm going to keep moving on forward. That sucks to have your 4-star be killed on the courier.
Oh, that's huge if Vitali can get out. That's probably a...
That's a big if.
Yeah, that's a big if. Then, yeah, they're able to stop the TP. Continue to try and channel, but not the case. They do get, of course, Whisper across the map, though. So, another death in a row here for the Mirana.
On the back of that, my man, though, Theolacor, doing what's needed.
Is under attack.
You can't kill C-Smile just with those two. You need Morphling there as well. It feels like Theolacor is just trying to play around this bottom side, play with his Morphling somewhat, so that if someone comes to defend and push out that bottom lane, they're going to be in a position to punish him. But again, like, this is what I was talking about. The gameplay from Alliance is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes the draft leads them in a laning phase that is almost unplayable. It's only a 4K net worth lead, though. You know, last game at this stage, we were looking at 10K plus. So I think they could certainly look to make something of this.
And look in trouble. I don't think they've got the damage. They do get another root. Matthew a bit too late with the follow-up stun lock, though. Danog will be able to get the remnant away. Meanwhile, Bakaz is almost brought down. Wrath of Nature. They won't have the vision, though, so Bakaz not going to lose the Aegis, but very close to losing that first life. And still, Alliance stalling this one out, importantly. EG, they got to get something out of this Aegis.
Yeah, they're certainly wanting to, but... I mean, you don't have...
They might be able
you just
to
have
here.
the Global Silence.
C-Smile is able to run into Theolacor. Not able to set up for the arrow, but it will not matter. The rest of the team able to funnel into the jungle. We'll give some time, though, for Gardic to be able to retreat.
It's an important kill. I mean, he's such a big part of the damage component that Alliance have right now. Morphling's not at the stage where he's ready to fight just yet, but with that, actually, he finishes up his Aghanim himself 15, so he's got that extra morph duration as well. Looking to get value out of the Dragonlance, even just disassembling it, or getting it that little bit faster.
Is he pretty much always looking to replicate into the Void?
It could be one of 3 targets. I think Void, Marcy, Underlord are all very, very good. I don't think Void's at the stage just yet where you're super worried about the damage, and I think the utility that something like Pit of Malice
bottom lane.
provides.
Hand is able to set up, and there's the Rift to be able to provide the extra heroes they need to find the Nature's Prophet kill.
What can they get in the
It
meantime?
does leave Matthew a little bit vulnerable, so at least Alliance are able to find their own kill across the map.
Void ended up using his TP, not actually taking the Dark Rift as well, so not super easy for him to come and defend that lane, but again, they just don't feel like they're at the stage where they can easily just walk up and contest this Underlord. It has to be everyone else that dies before him.
C-Smile's got no cares in the world. Look, him just running forward.
Three hit? Run, Gardic.
No, not like this. Dude,
Bye-bye.
he does so much damage. Uh-oh. No good, no good. I wonder what item he goes next, honestly, on C Smile.
Basher.
Oh, he's got Basher.
Abyssal.
Alright, let's just upgrade the Basher, why not? Bottom lane, they're thinking about setting up onto Lumia. They saw that he waveformed into the creep wave. Team's coming over, though. Panda's got the hook shot. Not gonna go for it. So, yep, like you said, Lumia will be fine, but again, Alliance continuing to stall out this Aegis. So 4,000 deficit for the moment. Nothing too crazy, nothing insurmountable. And it does look like Alliance might be ready to make their own play. They're going to smoke aggressively as 3. Vitaly can always join them.
Now. They got a lot of damage. Level 12 on the Tiny. He's got maxed out Avalanche. He can pick off any target that they desire. Might be able to scout out Whisper considering it is daytime, so you have that advantage where you can see them
Drops a ward as well. EG are pretty close to be able to connect. If Whisper can survive long enough, that won't be the case. The global silence even used as well, but now EG, they want revenge. Just see Smile. He'll enter the neighborhood to try and target down Gardic for the moment. The silence is going to look to end up going down, but not because. There he goes, jumps into the middle onto Vitaly. The Hurricane Pipe will get some distance away. Vitaly might be able to escape with a TP. So he can live in Alumi. He wants to finally get involved. Onto Matthew they go. They're going to be cautious though if they group up because
it's the chain.
Still has the Chronosphere, the threat of the bubble preventing Alliance. They're ever so hesitant about heavily committing, but now they might be able to go. They group up. There we go. Pagaz, a 2-man Chrono. They'll only be able to bring down the Tiny, but can they get more out of this though? A Bastion of Root. Lumia in some trouble to be able to get some distance away. And now Alliance, they can turn it. This is the opening for them. They'll target down C Smile and kill off the ever so tanky Underlord as Alliance play that fight perfectly.
Goes all the way back to base on Analog. Probably didn't need to. He's got the regen bottom that they could look to claim, but instead might be Whisper looking to take that one away. Very odd, but you could just see the damage potential is there, and they don't essentially need to do it around these ultimates again. This is one of those areas where you can actually look to kind of play the game that EG were playing against you in game number 1. Just constantly be out on the map. One of the benefits of picking up that early Aghanim Scepter for the Nature's Prophet reduces the Wrath of Nature to just 1 minute cooldown.
We've seen a couple of, I guess, item builds to be able to deal with this Morphling Scepter. I think at TI, we saw Army. I think he was the first person I saw with the Moon Shard to be able to deal with it. We've even seen the Lincolns as well, and that's what Picard is starting to queue up.
Yeah, Lincolns just makes a lot of sense, right? You just want to be able to not be quite so susceptible. It's not like they have too much in terms of like single target outside of that. So things like the Sprout, maybe the Toss, that also not quite as big of an issue. But you can see like the biggest thing for mine about that for Alliance was Lumiere lived throughout that entire fight. So he's level 18 now. He picks up a lot of that extra gold. He takes this tower.
Is this the target you want to try and bring down to start? And it looks like it's not the case. C-Smart will stand strong and end up killing off Theo or Core.
I don't think they were playing that for a successful team fight. I think that was a distraction play of just, let's take that mid tower. Now we can actually look to go for a little bit more smokes, because they're still playing quite well around this vision next to Gardic. They want to keep this for as long as possible, because they know Roshan could be up at any moment, and it's only 30 seconds away. Quite a short respawn time. So now they've got a different avenue to potentially wrap through onto the backside of the ancient camp that Radiant are playing with. You've got to be careful that they don't commit themselves too heavily down towards this bottom side. Analog doesn't have a TP, so it's a question of how quickly is he going to be able to get up to the top side.
Very nice on from Panda. To get out of danger, should be able to de-ward as well. They still, of course, have this cliff ward to play with on Alliance, though, and Whisper is going to run up unknowingly with Lumi nearby. There we go, Morphling.
They should know Picard can't join this as well. Like, he used the TP previously.
They're going to look to get the jump in, but the BKB still on cooldown and with no one nearby this time.
That's Roche.
The jump onto the Underlord will pay off, and like you said, second Roche sheds up and available for Alliance.
I think Picard knows as well. He briefly dipped his toe inside of the pit just to be able to have a look, and Alliance are going to be breathing a sigh of relief. We've been talking about how much this series means for them, right? Win this, guaranteed not going to be relegated. Lose it, still up for those potential tiebreakers. Of course. EG. You know, they want that clear path to be able to go through to the Lima Major. One more win, that's all it'll take. Amping up some of Analog's damage now. Picks up the Aghanim Shard for himself. He's getting into that level 18, going towards the Aghanim Scepter. No, of course, once he hits up onto that level 20, he just starts to become an absolute menace.
Cars, do they get a glimpse? They don't. Just out of
Nighttime,
range. Ooh, that would have been scary, but like you said, Shard on Ember, Analog had that queued up, and now he instantly swaps through his own Scepter. You got the Aegis onto Lumiere, who's very close to the level 20. And this is starting to get to the stage of, do we have to be worried for EG? Do they have ways, even though this net worth lead, it's just finally in Alliance's favor, but the EG have some responses to an Alliance team fight now?
I think they have response. It's just a matter of they need to be the ones to get the jump. The past few times it's been Alliance doing that off the back of Theolokos. So if you get the right hook shot, if you get the right, you know, ATOS, if you set up a great Chronosphere, they could still very easily take this.
See the jump
You've
potential.
now got, you've got the Lincolns ready now for the Faceless Void as well. So it's going to feel a lot more fearless.
Important for them, however, Alliance to continue to control this triangle. You've dropped the ward nearby, and Vitaly can push out bottom as well.
Yeah, they're going for a smoke here. I'm sure Faceless Void would
start
love his level 20. Great
swing
positioning.
over the right side, and they pop the smoke, and Theolokor is in with a combo, but the damage is enough, and there's no follow-up as well. They'll try and target down Theolokor with an easy kill for them to find. Now they're onto the second support as well as EG. What a great way to break the high ground, but it doesn't look like they'll get anything more out of it.
Little surprising, to be honest. I mean, they didn't really need to go
lane.
in there on Theolokor. Oh,
Drifting in, Vitaly.
run,
Some
Vitaly.
distance with the pikes. Gonna look to TP straight on the high ground with the arrow. Oh, it's there from Whisper, stopping the TP short.
Creeps are doing their job, though. They're smacking into that tier 2 tower bottom. Just trying to split up the map as much as possible. Again, they didn't need to pop the BKB on the Void. They didn't need to use the Chrono. And now Picard is level 20. I'm quite surprised that they didn't just completely bail out of that one, because Analog was in a really solid position to be able to scout out any sort of smokes. He had the Remnant up, he went back on, and I've been praising Theolokor all throughout this game, but it's just a little bit too aggressive of a blink forward to try and get that damage in to protect his Horn. Ends up with both supports dying, and then off the back of that, Vitaly as well. Ooh, arrow.
Has that shard though, so okay, but the big issue is the Sun controlling. We'll be able to Manta off the root. Can you, with the Ag shard, can you shift in Chrono? I can't remember. You can, right?
I want to say yes, but I might be completely wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. They're coming as well for Alliance. Anticipating this move, but they're going to be caught on the low ground. Theolokor is able to get the instant jump in. The card's looking to fall up as well. Inside the middle, though, it does look like the Morphling's in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't have the boys to play with, though. They'll deal with the first life. Can they protect him on round 2, though? It looks like Alliance are in shambles. There's nothing they can do. Lumi's going to look for the waveform TP out. Do they have a way to counter that? They do. The root's there fast enough. Lumi caught out. No boys nearby to protect him as EG. Back-to-back team fights now going their way.
They didn't have the greatest vision around that area. I suppose Panda only just put up the Observer Ward to the top side of where they were fighting, but they were just, I believe, about 10 seconds short of the Global Silence coming through there from the Silencer, which could have been the main difference maker. What's he actually going towards? I can see he's just got the casual Void Stone at the moment queued up.
I don't know if it's just straight refresher.
Yeah, well, sure, but I was thinking he might have been a lot closer to that, but nothing's on the courier, so still going to be quite some time until he's able to get into that refresher stage.
Pipe Dream, but maybe that's where the Philosopher's Stone can come into play. What a neutral item for some of the supports. Because you know how difficult it is for Alliance. Like, Underlord's just running dead in the middle. You can't do anything against him. As long as they're playing around this hero, something that they also can't really address is Moran is so difficult to kill. The Clockwork as well, 2,000 health. Marcy 2,300 with the BKB. How are you killing these heroes on EG, especially when the Underlord's protecting them?
I mean, Matthew essentially soloed the Silencer in that fight. He got griefed a little bit. Might be able to force staff himself away, but doesn't even try. Kind of surprising, to be honest, that he wouldn't try and draw this game out a little bit, bring them further away from the lane. Still means that C-Smart has to go back to try and deal with this push a little bit, but yeah, Analog unfortunately body blocked him in on that previous team fight down bottom, so it meant that he went down before he was able to pop the global. And just little things like that that can be the big difference makers. As
Oh, they see Vitaly.
They know.
Oh, she's gonna go for the TP. Oh, Panda.
Oh.
Oh no! He used the rift as soon as Panda tried to right click on the ground.
I haven't seen the Dark Rift used for that purpose. I've seen it used to try and break a Monkey King out of trees, but not to try and find a Nature's Prophet to get him before he TPs out.
Great observe board from EG.
Yeah.
It's gonna scout up the smoke. They are well.
Ooh, they even did the right thing, putting the sentry down. Panda, what a great support player. Just all those unorthodox positions, and you just see EG's response to it, right? Get back to our safe space. Get back to the high ground. Pakar's TP's back to the rest of the boys. They're all ready to fight if they were to venture into them.
That's not a high ground you can run up.
No, especially with C-Smile being the guardian of the front lines.
Look at the Moonlight Shadow. They all group up as 3. A Global Silence going to help them reset their positioning here from Alliance.
They were scared of
But
the
it doesn't
chrono.
look like it's a fight that you can now continue to take, especially with the DD now in the hands of EG. As Whisper, he's on the prowl for more. It's in fact Panda the one that gets the jump. He'll be blown up. Lumiere with the finishing blow, but he might be in trouble now. Caught inside, they won't even need the Chronosphere. The bash has come out from C-Smile, and because another high ground will soon be under threat.
They could just go through backdoor at this stage. You've got a double damage on an Underlord with all of this atrophy damage that it just gets absolutely melted. Like, chomp, chomp, chomp. He's even got the Assault Cuirass as well to reduce that even further. Like, you're going to need to buy back on this Morphling or the game will end.
Ooh. And they still got Chrono on the buyback as well. Looking to try and cut mid as Analog. Cautious though, because... Ooh,
Chrono.
Got the bash, he might be able to Chrono. Another bash, but he gets a slide!
Ooh.
Oh my lord, Analog playing with fire!
Nice pun, by the way, Ember Spirit.
Oh, thank you.
Recognize
Playing
it. Game
Vitaly?
recognized game.
Not again.
Bit of an interruption here.
Just no escape. Nothing he can do. So difficult for the Nature's Prophet to play the side lane back inside the base, though. Theolacor will toss Picard's away. Look to just turn his attention over towards Guardians as well. They're wasting
the
time,
tier
though.
fours.
Morphling up in temper. You know that he doesn't want to buy back now. He's not going to buy back with 8 seconds left, but he needs to. The throne, it's just falling too fast. He'll finally buy back, but the damage has been dealt. Theolacor gets the combo out, and C-Smile will go down.
wants to end
and
it.
now they can turn it towards Matthew. But the Marcy jump away, and they'll be okay. As EG just bleed to kill the Underlord, but you need to get Roche down on Alliance. You need to get something out of this buyback from Lumiere.
Oh my god, it's a damn quick respawn as well as... Oh, it's going to be about a 10-second total, and yeah, they need to back up entirely. Those creeps could end the game if someone doesn't deal with them right now.
You could just rift in if you want to.
I want to see it, I'll be honest. I would love to see it. Buy a Desolator, Underlord, you got enough money.
I actually wouldn't hate seeing him buy back for this Roche as well. This is game, I think, if... Oh, not game. I think it puts you in a horrible position if Lumiere doesn't get the Aegis. You die once this game's over.
They know that they're not going to take it in 5 seconds, so Clockwork, Rocket Flare's coming up in that time. They're going to scout out, they're going to know exactly where Alliance are moving right now, and yeah, that's exactly where he shoots the rocket. They know what's happening. Let's see how he looks to respond to this, because, I mean, even if he doesn't buy back, Beansgate's up now.
Pause. Chrono's still on cooldown. They're going to look to get the jump in. Theolacor with the counter initiation along with the Global Silence as well. But Lumiere just stays alive. But Picard gets the Aegis in a continued demand fight inside the pit. As Analog will go down. Lumiere just able to survive the time walk up. But he won't get enough distance away as Picard chases him forward and the G's are dropped. Alliance are forced to tap out. No way for them to come back into this game too. And Evil Geniuses will continue with their incredible run in Tour 1 and book their ticket to the Lima Major. Congratulations to them.
Big hype coming through from them. I mean, it was just another clinical performance, right? Picard's 0 deaths, C-Smile just dominant from start to finish. What a And this wasn't even a bad draft by Alliance. I thought this was a salvageable draft. They could have made something work. And there were stages where, things were starting to get back towards their favor. You can just even see with the win probability, if we have a look over at that graph. Never mind, can't see it. But basically, at 30 minutes, it's dead even. So that's pretty exciting to see that they have the gameplay elements to be able to bring themselves back into this. Sometimes it's just a case of you're going up against a damn good team, multiple members getting top 6, top 4 at many international events. You got to give props where it's due. EG, they're a damn good team. Alliance, they're a good team as well, but they were just too good today.
Too good today, and this is just awesome to see as well, with the combination of Thunder and of course Beast Coast, and just how difficult it is for you to play against this team where already it looks like the synergy is there. Their lanes on EG just look incredibly strong, and importantly as well, these guys can play so many heroes. What's this, man? You're pulling out an Underlord mid who, again, we have seen a little bit in Southeast Asia. You got an offlane Mirana where Whisper goes 12, 3, and 10. And this is an item build where he went utility. Greaves, Scepter, Kaya, and he still had so much impact in this game. So, EG, I'm really excited to see how this team is going to continue to develop once we get, of course, to that major, because this is a team where they can play anything, and it makes it so difficult to draft against.
It's pretty exciting, right? Not just in SA, but across every single region. It feels like there's this huge divide between the top 2 teams and everything. And, with SA, it's the top 2 teams that are going to the major itself. So I'm keen to see how EG are going to fare against a lot of these teams. Like Betboom, for example, over in the Eastern European region, seem absolutely unstoppable. Liquid as well in Western Europe. So I want to see some more international Dota. I'm so excited, but before we can get there, we got to know who the second team is that's going to be going to the Lima Major, and that's going to be pretty heavily decided on the results of this next series.
Yes, that is it indeed. Beast Coast, if they win the next series, then they will join EG as well at the Lima Major, but if Thunder are able to get a victory here, then their hopes of them trying to force some tiebreakers and be that second team to go is still on the cards for them. I do want to quickly mention as well that Alliance, their hopes of staying in Division 1 aren't done just yet, but they need to win their next series, which is going to be against Thunder, who is going to be a really difficult team as well. So the road home for Alliance is not an easy one, but for them, they need to win their last series. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. And it'll be a nice little test to see if Thunder can, bring some momentum into that series against Beast Coast. This is not easy.
Especially if Thunder win against Beast Coast, right? Because then they have everything to play for. You have to remember one of the last series of the entire tour will be Beast Coast EG. And I would think that EG are going to use that as basically, I'm going to call it an official scrim since they would have already qualified. But they know that they've got the chops to be able to go up against these top tier teams. Beast Coast is still a top tier team, so they're going to be taking it super seriously. So you don't want to give Thunder the opportunity to want to have everything to play for, essentially. So I'm keen to see how this next series is going to turn out.
Yeah, there's still a lot on the line, which is always an exciting thing when you get to the later stages here of the tour, where there's so much to play for. Tiebreakers potentially on the line, and slots to the major and relegation still on the line as well. So that's just our our second series of the night done. EG going to be able to take it in 2-0 fashion. So we'll see what we have in store. We're going to chuck a little break, and when we come back, we'll have the panel to break this one down.